Man, the 1990s was the best time to be a Nickelodeon fan. We had the best cartoons, live-action shows, game shows, comic books, trading cards, and toys, not to mention Snick. However, Nickelodeon had even more to offer for the superfans that just couldn't live without the brand in their lives. In fact, they created a whole line of home products. Whether you were punctual, really into music, an artist, a shutterbug, had your own computer, or were a typical 1990s kid that just couldn't stay off the phone, Nick had you covered. Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to Macabre'Gorium Labs presents School of Boredom, a showcase of things likely forgotten. My name is Bats, and I'll be your guide today as we take another look at Nickelodeon's history with Lesson N-109, Nickelodeon's home products, Nick on Blast.
Aren't you glad
you watching Nick? Aren't you glad you watching Nick?
Before we start, I have to inform you that as of filming this video, I have not actually owned any of the products on this list. However, I am always on the lookout for them on the secondary market, so if I get lucky, you can expect spotlights in the future. Almost all of these items came from a line of products called Nickelodeon Blast. Also, we will not be going over obvious items like soaps, bathroom items, toothbrushes, lunch boxes, or branded novelties. However, a majority of the items we are about to discuss were made by Long Haul Technologies LLC in the mid-1990s. We aren't sure if any of the items we're about to discuss were ever sold in a bundle or only sold exclusively through the Nickelodeon Blast line. However, originally we found this. Before writing, we were going to discuss a certain set of Nickelodeon branded personal computer accessories. However, after researching, we realized they were only Nickelodeon branded and not part of an official Nickelodeon product set, like the Blast products we're about to talk about now. They in fact come from a brand that made several admittedly awesome home computer accessory sets. And we will cover all of them in a future video because they were really awesome for the time period. We might even have some hands-on examples. I've been searching to buy some of these because I have a really cool idea to do a modern conversion on a couple of these pieces. A little off topic, but that brand is called Brainworks. If I make these product modification videos, you can find those on the partner channel Bats from the Grave and the School of Boredom on it over here on this channel. But for this topic, I wasn't really sure where to start, so let's just jump in. Let's start with the Nickelodeon Time Blaster. This was a Nickelodeon-themed alarm clock. It had a radio function and a digital clock face with a green number display. All of its settings controls were on the back side of the device. A large red ball-shaped button on top when pressed would activate the alarm and/or radio. And of course, there are volume and tuning knobs as well as a couple of other buttons. What sets this apart from average alarm clocks is that this one was all nicked out. The alarm sounds it made were a launch countdown to a morning reveille, a repeating boinging sound effect, and the Nick mnemonic. There was also a light on top of it that would be activated via a button or would flash when the alarm went off. Now tie all this together and slap a Nickelodeon theme on it and you get this awesome looking alarm clock to wake you up with a Nick start to your day. This was one of the items I'm trying to track down, but they are actually proving to be quite pricey. Some of our younger viewers may not be aware that telephones weren't always a pocket-sized computer that you keep gorilla glued to your face. Nope. In fact, they were actually connected to your home via wires in some way, and then the furthest you could travel with them was as far as the cord would allow. And yes, eventually there were wireless telephones, but usability depended on distance from the base, obstacles like walls and doors, the phone's battery life, or the quality of the cordless phone itself. However, for us 90s kids, that didn't have the type of, I guess I'll say, freedom. Nickelodeon had you covered with the Nickelodeon Talk Blaster. This was a home telephone generally designed for slightly older kids that was themed the same way as the Time Blaster, as it also has the electric bolt light across the top, a neon green spring telephone cord from the receiver to the base, 14 neon green buttons, 10 of which were numbers 0 through 9, then pound and star, but there was also redial and flash buttons. It has a big red button that plays the various sound effects the phone is capable of, including insane laughter, mooing, a downward shifting slide whistle followed by a clown-like honk, a regular phone ringer, and of course, the Nick mnemonic. All of the tones are accompanied by the flashing of the bolt light across the top, so after you picked your favorite ringtone, all you had to do was sit and wait for someone to call you, then pick up the receiver and say hello. Then we had the Nickelodeon Desk Thing Desktop Organizer and Lamp. This was one of the cooler items. And yes, it was actually called the Nickelodeon Desk Thing. The Nickelodeon Desk Thing was an all-in-one desktop item that had more features than I expected. It has a tape dispenser, calculator, pencil sharpener, 3 small storage trays, a pen and pencil holder, maybe 2, and of course, the lamp itself, with the calculator and pencil sharpeners being removable. It also dons the same electric bolt that lights up and plays a sound when the lamp is turned on or off, and the lamp had some green slime plastic around the edges and partially across the top. With all of this combined together and themed in the same style as the previous 2 items, you can tell these were all part of the same item set. You know, let's just say if it has the name Blast in it, then it's probably part of the same set and themed the same way. But speaking of calculators, Nickelodeon also gave us the Gaculator. There's not too much to say about this other than it was a Nickelodeon GAC-themed calculator. We aren't sure if it was part of this set, but it popped up during our research, so we included it anyway. But yeah, just a calculator. Moving on, we have the Blast Pack Cassette Walkman. To some of our older viewers, this might be the one that your kids will laugh at you for, but no worries here, we loved the cassette format. Admittedly, it wasn't as good as vinyl or as clean as CD, but they didn't skip on the go, and we loved them. This was a personal cassette player with, quote, green slime for protection, a regular headphone jack, volume and bass boost, and a wrist strap and belt clip, not to mention matching headphones. And for this one, the red button acted as the play button for the cassette player. But there was a second version of this one, and other than a slight design change, it was pretty much the same. Except this version actually did include an AM/FM stereo functionality. And both of these devices would run on just 2 AA batteries. Nickelodeon's foray into music players wouldn't stop there either. They actually had 2 more options for the music-loving Nick superfans. They had the Nickelodeon Blast Box and the Nickelodeon CD Blast Box. These were small boombox radios. The first was the Nickelodeon Blast Box, and it was a cassette boombox that had 4 green function buttons, a big red play button, 3 purple knobs, and an AM/FM radio, complete with retractable antenna and headphone jack, with 2 speakers and the handle being wrapped around the electric bolt. What 90s kid wouldn't want this? And according to our sources, it also had a record and a microphone function, but the microphone was not very good. Then they introduced the Nickelodeon CD Blast Box. Similar to the Blast Box, this one would lose the ability to play cassettes and instead was changed to play compact discs. Along with a significant design change like a telescoping antenna and a fold-back handle that was completely different than the Blast Box, of course it also had AM/FM radio and the speakers looked like jet engines. Obviously it also had volume knobs and a few other settings knobs. This one could be powered with an AC adapter or 6 D-size batteries. For the most hardcore of Nickelodeon fans, they even offered a smaller, more affordable option with a personal transistor AM/FM radio, and they called this the Pocket Blaster. They also released a separate standalone pair of headphones called the Nickelodeon Blast Pads, and they are just Nickelodeon Blast-themed headphones. But maybe you were more of an adventurous kid, and for you they had the Nickelodeon Night Blast walkie-talkies, and this is probably one of the things that it was hardest to find any information on. A lot of our info here came from eBay ads and talking to a couple of different people. These were like regular walkie-talkies, only they had a flashlight built in and 4 sound effect buttons that included a whistle, a ray gun, a drum, and for the life of me, I just can't figure out the 4th one. But if you know what that 4th one is, let me know in the comment section below. And finally, the last of the Nickelodeon Blast items, the Photo Blaster 35mm camera. What sets it apart from average 35mm cameras is this one takes 4 per print. That means that film would offer you 24 photos would actually get you a total of 96 photos. We aren't exactly sure how that works, but cool. A vast majority of these items are for sale on eBay right now, but be prepared as they are not affordable by any means. And although I am on the hunt for the whole collection, it doesn't really seem like I'm gonna get that lucky. What are some of your favorite Nickelodeon memories? Did you own any of these awesome items? Were there any we missed? Maybe you have a suggestion for a future video or just want to drop in and say, hi there. Well, unless you're a troll, head on down to the comments section and we'll see you there. And with that, we've come to the end of another School of Boredom Nickelodeon Edition lesson. I've been your host, Bats, and this has been Lesson N109. Nickelodeon's home products, Nickelodeon on Blast. Be sure to check back next time because you never know what we have in store. And as usual, think for yourselves, be excellent to each other, and of course, keep it creepy. That boombox is how much? $5,000? Good luck. Hey, thanks for checking out our video. If you enjoyed this one and would like to see more of our weird, creepy, odd, eccentric, or strange content as soon as it comes out, please feel free to click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more. We'll see you later. Keep it creepy.